There's compelling evidence that the law enforcement response to the attack at Robb Elementary was an abject failure and antithetical to everything we've learned over the last 2 decades since the Columbine massacre. 3 minutes after the subject entered the West Building, there was a sufficient number of armed officers wearing body armor to isolate, distract, and neutralize the subject. The only thing stopping a hallway of dedicated officers from entering room 111 and 112 was the on-scene commander, who decided to place the lives of officers before the lives of children. The officers had weapons, the children had none. The officers had body armor, the children had none.
Joining me now, Sara Gonzales, of course, as you know, host of the news and Why It Matters on BlazeTV. Sara, I do the best I can not to judge people who are in life-threatening situations when I wasn't there, right? I do the best I can with that. I have been wrestling with this since I saw that this morning and did the read-up on it. As a man, forget cop, forget cop, no cop, as a man, you're standing in the hall with a weapon while 10-year-olds are being executed and you don't do anything? Sara, explain this to me.
Jesse, I can't. It makes me sick to my stomach and infuriated, and not just as a mother, but also as a supporter of law enforcement, to hear that it was not just the commanding officer. 11 officers were there on the scene inside the school within 3 minutes of the shooter entering, and still they waited for over an hour. Didn't even check the doors to see if the doors were actually locked. We've been lied to this entire time from an agency that I think it's safe to say you and I have both supported in the past. And look, I'm not saying that I don't support police anymore, but what I'm saying is we have to take a long, hard look at policing as a general rule and figure out, how did we come this far? How did we see over the course of 2 years during COVID, we saw police officers arresting mothers in playgrounds. Now we're seeing these men standing around listening, presumably, to children being shot and doing nothing about it. It's absolutely infuriating. Something has to change. I don't know, Jesse, if I can blame the left's constant demoralization of police in general. Maybe all the good ones left. I can't tell you what has happened, but what I can tell you is, you're speaking as a man. I'm speaking as a mother. You could not have stopped me. I would have been the mom who got detained and figured out how to get undetained and run into the school to save her children. And as an officer, I can tell you, I would have said, you know what? You're going to have to shoot me to stop me because I'm going in there and I'm saving children. And trust me, I love police as a general rule, but something is very, very wrong in policing, and we need to figure out what it is before more innocents die.
Something is wrong. Everything seems broken, and I'll be honest, Sara, I'm not going to speculate on conspiracy theories or whatnot, but nothing about this makes sense. I mean, again, you can blame the on-site commander all you want. That's fine. I'm sure he's very guilty of everything they're accusing him of. That's fine. But the guys underneath him, how do you sit there and let the on-site commander stop you? I mean, look, I was in the Marines. If we had a platoon commander who said, no, you can't save the kids, well, sir, you could go screw yourself. I'm going, and go ahead and try to stop me. I don't know how you do it if you're those guys either.
That's what I'm saying, Jesse. I mean, it is completely unfathomable to me. And look, I've been listening to the hearings today. I understand that they said that, maybe an officer tried to question, maybe tried to go through anyway and was detained, or the parents were detained. You mean to tell me you didn't have a handful of all of those grown men over there who said, yeah, you know what? Screw it. What are you going to do? Detain all of us? What are you going to do? Stop all of us? We're going in there and we're saving children. It's completely unfathomable. And then, of course, on top of all of that, you have the left using this as a reason to disarm the public, when all this proves, this is like the greatest case you could ever make, that Americans need to be making sure that they are armed with the same exact weapons that law enforcement has and the criminals have. Because when everything else, when all of this happens, you cannot trust law enforcement to always be there to protect you. And yet we're having the conversation about disarming the public. It's absolutely maddening. How did we get into this position?
Don't miss Jesse Kelly Breaks History, Che Guevara, the latest episode of a new series available now exclusively for First TV supporters. Visit the First TV app or thefirsttv.com to subscribe and start watching today.